I'm Penny and welcome to Pen B Photography. Now I apologise because I'm sitting in the back of the van having a cup of tea, which does mean that the lighting has become secondary. It's so bright. And I don't have an ND filter on my video camera, which is apparently a must-have, and at this precise moment I agree. I could go in some shade, but then I wouldn't be sitting down in the back of the van, so I apologise. Laziness has got the best of me. It's a good cup of tea though. Anyway, so today I have spent some money, and I have spent some money for work, and my work is, I do work as a photographer, but what I'm doing here is for fun, as much as it would be lovely if it was a job, but it is for fun. And how I earn some money is by doing events and photographs for websites and things like that, product shots, and anything really that comes my way. So and my camera system for that was a 6D and a 60D, which is really old, as a backup, and it was getting a bit worrying on how old everything was. So I have bought a boring purchase really from me, because I bought a 6D Mark II. Wow, things have definitely moved on. So the 6D, my camera that I've been using on these vlogs taking wildlife, it's brilliant, works really well. It doesn't have touchscreen. It is a full frame camera, and it only had one cross focus point in the middle, right in the middle, and you can focus from other bits, but you can't use that for video and things like that. But for landscapes fine, because 9 times out of 10 I use manual focus, and I started shooting on film long time ago, and to be honest, the way I shoot now is still really the way I shoot then, and I use the center point, I frame, and then I focus with the center point, and then I reframe, keeping my finger on the button. Or with these cameras I do have a back focus button, so you can focus using the back button here, and then just press the main shutter at the front, and that's how I work as a rule. So the other thing that I bought is this cheap as chips little 50mm prime lens. It goes down to f1.8, but it has no stabilisation in it, and it was £99 brand new. It is cheap. Cheap. So what I thought I'd do is that I haven't actually had a chance to use my 6D Mark II properly, so I have to test out two things today: cheap lens and my 6D Mark II. Also, this is my workhorse lens. This is my 24-105. I've bought this so that I can compare. What I'll do is I'll take some pictures on this little 50mm that was really cheap, and then put this zoom lens onto 50mm and take similar pictures, and then we can compare and see if we can get away with cheap. I don't know how likely that is, but you know, why are lenses expensive? Well, I'm no expert, but off the top of my head right this moment, what could make a lens expensive? The stabilisation this doesn't have in the lens, the little 50mm, which this does. Obviously making this a zoom adds money to it, because you know that's technology. What else? The f-stop, having a fast lens, so this goes to f4 I believe. I assume you can get one that's much faster, that's probably about can go down to f2, 1.8, whatever, and then you would be spending a lot more money for those f-stops, where the glass and everything could be exactly the same inside. This is an L range lens, so I would expect the glass to be optically better glass within the lens. itself. Other than that, build quality, this has some weather sealant, the 24-105, and I guess I would imagine this 50mm doesn't. I guess that, but it is for £100, £99. I can't believe they've spent money on weather sealing it. But I'm babbling, sorry, I am going on. So what I'm doing today is we're going to take some shots. It is so bright that they are not going to be award-winning. I don't know if I've ever taken an award-winning photo, but you know what I mean, award-winning. And we are going to compare. I'm going to shut up now and let's get out and do some photos. I'll speak to you again in a minute. Take care. Right, so I have walked quite a long way. I've explored this area quite a lot. I've come into the woods because it is blue skies and bright, and my stomach is telling me it's nearly lunchtime, so, which means it's probably about 10 o'clock in the morning. No, I think it's about 11, whatever. And I was hoping to find some fungus, and I have, so that's good. It is quite low to the ground. So let's start. I'm on my cheap lens, the 50mm, and I've taken the first shot. I'm quite happy with it. I have taken one using the automatic focus, and now I'm taking one using my own eye, but I didn't put my glasses on, so I might check that. So far so good. The camera itself is fantastic compared to the 6D. Remember, this is the 6D Mark II, second hand, good price. I think just in terms of just all the little buttons and stuff, it does feel a bit cheaper in quality, but it's been well made. I don't know that for a fact, that's just how I feel it feels. My 6D really does feel quite well made. What I do really like though is that it's got a flippy out screen where my 6D doesn't, so while we're low down here I can see what I'm doing. And also it has touch screen, so when I was doing the automatic focus, I just have to touch the screen and it focuses exactly where I want it to focus. That is brilliant. And it is definitely faster on finding the focus. Now, I haven't tried this lens on my 6D, but I know that this lens isn't going to be as faster than my 24-105. So the camera itself is definitely a lot faster finding focus as well. So the focus system, I haven't looked up the specs, but the focus system is definitely better, from my opinion. So yeah. I'm liking the camera. I am really liking it. And the lens itself, I don't know yet. I'm going to change over lenses and then put my 24-105 to 50mm to be fair. Take the exact same shot. If I can get closer, I will. If it's got a closer focal length, it probably will have, but we'll see. Yeah. So. We'll do some comparisons in a minute. Right, so hope you took a look at those pictures. Personally, I can't spot a difference between 50mm on my expensive 24-105 and between the cheap brand new £99 50mm lens. In that situation, I can't see a difference. In fact, the 50mm lens is better because I managed to get closer. So yeah, this is obviously just my personal opinion, and there was nothing scientific about it. No one benefits from me saying what I'm saying. Just on that particular moment, taking pictures of that particular fungus, that 50mm £99 lens, I cannot spot a difference. One thing I haven't done is I haven't printed the pictures, but I just can't believe I've blown the pictures up to full amount, and especially where I have focused manually myself, I cannot see a difference. So I think the moral of the story is when you make a purchase, think what you need in your lens and in your camera, and don't buy anything you don't need. If you don't need stabilisation, why are you paying for it, I suppose, is what I'm saying. It's easy to say that, because obviously you want to future-proof your product as well, just in case you change your mind on what you're doing. Who knows? Anyway, I'm very happy with it. It's a good add to the rest of my equipment. There's nothing taken away that my 24-105 will be the lens that is on my camera most of the time, because life is a lot more convenient with that on there. But this 50mm definitely has a place within my kit. The camera itself, the new camera, the 6D Mark II, very happy. I think I said earlier that it feels a bit more toy-like with the buttons to the 6D. Do you know what? I think that my 6D sounds a bit more smoother because it's probably been used so much. So I might take that back. I think it's probably the same. Yeah, well happy with that. Gone up. So obviously I think I agree with most people that the future is mirrorless, and I've just bought myself a DSLR. The thing is this shoots over 1,000 frames more on one battery charge, where mirrorless, I believe, is still in the hundreds for the amount of times you can shoot. So for me, when I'm on events and things like that, that is just being able to keep shooting on one battery is amazing. The only downside, and it's quite a big downside, it's still a single card slot, so you don't have a backup in there at all, which is always a bit of a worry. I've never had a problem, touch wood, but yeah, it's always a bit of a worry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say goodbye to you now. I hope this has been useful in some way for you. I hope it has. Obviously not scientific, just my personal opinion. And at the end I'm going to put on just a few more pictures that I took with my 6D Mark II and my little brand new 50mm lens. They were just for fun. The day was bright, so they're not, you know, portfolio, but they're just for fun. Feel free to have a look, it would be lovely. And I'm just going to put a slideshow of that on the end. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much, and I think it might be a longer one, so well done for getting this far. If you did, please subscribe. Can't talk anymore. Please consider subscribing. Please hit the thumbs up button, because that really does help my channel. And if you could make a comment, that's brilliant, because I love learning from you guys out there, because I know a lot of you know a lot more than me, so it's all good. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Take care, bye bye. you.